We like to think of the past as a settled story, right? A history that's written in stone and fossil. We tell ourselves that what's gone stays gone. But what if the past doesn't remember those rules? What if the echoes of a deep, forgotten Earth are actually getting louder? And that's the central question we're digging into. It completely challenges our whole idea of safety. We live our lives on this really thin crust of the present, just assuming the past is a closed book. But this whole thought experiment asks us to think about a pretty terrifying possibility. What if extinction isn't really an endpoint, but just a pause? To really understand the stakes here, we have to try and picture the world as it truly was, millions and millions of years ago. We've got to strip away everything we know, our cities, our farms, our entire civilization, and see the planet that existed long, long before us. Just imagine an atmosphere thick with gases we couldn't even breathe, skies patrolled by creatures the size of small airplanes, oceans hiding leviathans that would literally dwarf a modern submarine. See, this wasn't just a world with different animals, it was a world with completely different rules, governed by these dominant, ancient forces on a scale we can barely even wrap our heads around. A planet that was engineered for planetary rule, not for people. So that leads us to the core of this whole speculative narrative. This unsettling idea that the past isn't truly gone, it's just dormant, waiting for some kind of key to unlock its prison. And this is what we call the return hypothesis. Now, here's the thing. This hypothesis isn't just pure fantasy. No, it's actually grounded in real, observable science and things that are already happening, from geological forces that are reshaping the planet to our own advancing technology. It's a story built from clues the planet is already giving us. Okay, let's break this down. First, you've got climate shifts. As our planet warms up, ancient ice and permafrost are melting. I'm not kidding. Scientists have already revived 30,000-year-old giant viruses from Siberian permafrost. So, what else is down there, frozen and just waiting? Second, geological upheaval. Think earthquakes, underwater volcanoes, stuff that could expose deep-sea trenches that have been totally isolated for eons. And finally, our own hubris, genetic revival. As we get better and better at DNA recovery, we might just be tempted to bring back something we were never, ever meant to face. So what would actually happen if these keys turned and the doors to the past just swung wide open? What does a confrontation between our world and theirs even look like? And this is where the fundamental, just terrifying mismatch lies. Our civilization is like a delicate web built during a really rare period of planetary calm. It's all interconnected, which also means it's incredibly fragile. The ancient world, though, that was forged in chaos and ruled by dominant primordial forces. We are adapted for stability. They were engineered for survival on a planetary scale. So, yeah, the consequences would be catastrophic. Just imagine some ancient apex predator re-emerging, a creature that nothing in our modern world has a defense for. Imagine lost species returning to ecosystems that have no memory of them, causing this insane domino effect of collapse. This is humanity confronting a context it was simply never designed for. All of this forces a really difficult reality check, doesn't it? We have to question our whole perceived mastery over this planet and really confront just how fragile our civilization truly is. 3.8 billion years. Let that sink in. That's how old life is on this planet. Recorded human history is, well, it's a microscopic sliver of that timeline. Our entire technological era is barely a blink. We are the newcomers here, living in a house with very, very old foundations. And that's the crucial point right here. Our greatest achievements, our satellites, our weapons, our global communication network, they were all built to solve human-scale problems. They were never designed to confront a primordial force that shaped the planet itself. Against something truly ancient, all our incredible tech might be utterly irrelevant. So, you see, this entire thought experiment isn't really about monsters. It's about us. And it all leads to a series of pretty profound moral and evolutionary questions about our own existence. Think about this for a second. We see extinction as a tragedy, right? A loss. But what if, on a planetary scale, it was a necessary mechanism, a kind of safeguard that cleared the stage, making way for new, more complex forms of life, like us? What if some things had to be buried just so we could have a chance to walk the Earth? And that kind of brings the focus right back to us. If we could bring the past back, should we? Do we actually have the wisdom and the humility to coexist with forces that once ruled this planet? Or would our own arrogance just lead to our own extinction? It stops being a question of capability and it becomes a question of worthiness. And that leads to the final chilling thought. We sit here and debate these questions as if we're the ones in control. But the Earth is a vast, powerful system with a very, very long memory. And maybe the ultimate warning from this whole exercise is the realization that the deep past doesn't need our technology or our hubris or our permission to come back. It just needs time.